Morning everyone. Today I will tell you something about the introduction of our essay. In our introduction, we found the problem that over 17 million people in China have visual impairments, mostly losing sight later in life. They face big challenges, hard to move, hard to get information, and often feel alone and lost. True inclusion means everyone can live equally and with dignity. But current solutions often focus on laws and buildings, forgetting emotional support and chances for everyday connection. A potential solution is guide running. The Blue Eyes organization in Shanghai uses weekly guide running to help. A visually impaired runner and the sighted guide run together, holding a rope. It's more than exercise. It creates a safe space for equal interaction, free from stigma. Running side by side builds trust, friendship, respect, and the feeling of belonging. Our research question is, how does guide running actually help include visually impaired people in society? We studied Blue Eyes running program, how it's set up, how people join, and participants' real stories. Our goal is that show how this simple sports activity creates meaningful inclusion on a personal level.
I will introduce the literature review part of our research. I found that a large number of domestic and international studies have shown that disability inclusion has become a prominent concept advocated by the international community in recent years. However, in China, the social inclusion of visually impaired people still faces challenges in practice. Practical findings show that sports activities are beneficial to improving the physical and mental health and social participation of visually impaired people. Guided running is an innovative practice by social organizations to help visually impaired people build a social support system in recent years. For example, Blue Eye is a non-profit organization established in Shanghai dedicated to improving the culture of guided running for visually impaired people. This study will take Blue Eye as a research object to explore how guided running activities affect the psychological state, social participation, and public perception of visually impaired people. Therefore, our study possesses the following two hypotheses. First, guided running activities significantly enhance the self-efficiency, mental health, and social participation of visually impaired individuals. And also, guided running activities will improve the social inclusion of visually impaired individuals by building a stable social support network and destigmatizing interactions.
So our research methodology adopts a qualitative case study approach to explore how guided running activities support the social inclusion of visually impaired individuals, focusing especially on two members of the Blue Eyes organization in Shanghai, Li Congcong and Chen Xiaobing. We talked with them about how these activities influence their daily life, and our case study method emphasizes the in-depth and detailed analysis of a small number of represented individuals to uncover the behavior mechanisms and experimentological underlying social phenomena. So we take the online interview with both individuals. So our study is seeking to understand the effectiveness and the limitations of inclusive practice from the first-hand perspectives of visually impaired individuals.
People with visual impairments face various barriers not only with social interaction and access to information, but also feel psychologically overlooked. True inclusion is not just about accessible facilities, it's about ensuring that everyone can participate equally, receive emotional resonance, and gain supports. Sports, especially running, can bring warmth and build connections. Taking Shanghai's Blue Eyes as an example, they use a simple rope to connect visually impaired runners with guides, turning run into more than exercise. It conveys respect and trust, allowing participants to feel the care of society. Our research aims to explore how to support the interaction of visually impaired individuals, using this program to see how sports bring about personal transformation and help build an inclusive future.
The study examines the guide running program by Shanghai's Blue Eye Spirit organization to analyze how running activities foster social inclusion for visually impaired individuals. Empirical evidence from long-term participants demonstrates 4 core impacts. First, psychological restoration. Runners with acquired blindness significantly rebuild self-confidence by completing 5 kilometers or half-marathon challenges, breaking years of social withdrawal. Second, role transformation. Visually impaired participants evolve from service recipients to helpers through leadership roles in training programs. Third, operational safety. The Big White certification system, written exam, and road test ensured 0 safety incidents across more than 2,000 guided running kilometers. Fourth, social integration. Diverse volunteers, corporate employees, students, retirees formed cross-group networks when running partnerships developed into equal friendships. The practical implication confirms that the standardized model, which is including weekly activity cycles, safety protocols, enabled replication in Suzhou and Beijing. Public co-running events directly challenged stereotypes of visual impairment. For example, blind people can't exercise. In conclusion, guide running advances disability inclusion through 3 actionable mechanisms. Physical participation builds agency. Relational construction establishes authentic connections, and public visibility disseminates inclusive values. The program's significance lies not only in running performance, but also in creating platforms for equal engagement.